Hey guys, Kevin with On Point Pearl Styles in Gainesville, Georgia, back with another tutorial. This one's a little different. It's sort of an impromptu video. I had a follower over the weekend called me, asked me, can I produce a video showing how to do the wet shrink method on a rear glass. It's not a method I use, so I'm not very versed in it, but I do know how to do it. And it's not my method. I don't ever do the wet shrink unless I do it on doors for the sides to shrink the fingers out of the doors before I install it. But as far as on rear windows and windshields, I just don't use that method. I use what's called the dry shrink method. The wet method is literally using nothing but water, floating the film on the glass and then tacking it down certain areas, creating fingers and then shrinking those out as pockets. So again, a little impromptu. So I was working on a customer's car. It was a good candidate, 2021 Honda Accord. Not the hardest window to shrink, but a good candidate for wet shrinking, or at least for someone who's not advanced at it like myself. At least I was able to produce something, a little late getting the video out, but anyways, I'm gonna narrate my way through it. You guys watch, hopefully it gives you the information you need to try something new. All right guys, so instead of talking all the way through it and narrating the entire thing, I'm gonna use text to pop up in certain places. So anyways, you saw I used my slip solution, sprayed the entire window down, laying the film across it, cutting it to size. We're gonna trim it up, lay it flat, and go from there. All right, this is a good spot to talk you through. You've got your heat gun hot and you're blowing air up into the tunnel or finger, and then you're chasing it up with the heat gun on top. So you're kind of doing the opposite as you would doing dry shrinking or standard finger, starting at the peak of the finger and going down. You're using the hot air and blowing it up into it and essentially sort of sealing the end, and then using that hot air trapped inside to shrink the film together. So as I do this on multiple fingers, you can see that it kind of seals the edge, and then the warm air causes the film to shrink a lot easier as you go up the finger. Trick is keep the heat gun at a distance. You don't want to singe or burn the end of the film, and that's easy to do. So practice, practice, practice. But slowly blow some air in, chase it to the top, and that's wet shrinking. That is a prime example of not using a hard card and squeegeeing really well around the fingers. You don't want them to spread out too far. So I was using a soft card, my mistake. Should have used a hard card and pressed down harder between the fingers, and you'll see me do that next. So there you go. That's kind of the gist of wet shrinking a back glass. Not my method, not my go-to. I do the dry shrink, but hopefully that helps you out. Thanks for watching.